The Podcast Revolution Network is a collective of independent broadcasters banded together for mutual support, success, and to raise new voices to our platform. Our shows are made possible through listeners like you supporting our cause. For more information on supporting Podcast Revolution, please visit podrev.org. That's PODREV.org. Thank you.
Well, hello. How you doing? How are you doing? This is the S. Anthony Says podcast. I am the S. Anthony Thomas, and this is the third anniversary of the S. Anthony Says podcast. What am I talking about today? October 22nd. When I'm recording this is the third year anniversary of the show. Oh yeah. And I tweeted about it, and I got a lot of you wonderful people telling me congratulations and that you enjoy the show, and thank you for the emails and the direct messages and all of that kind of stuff. For those of you that don't know the email address, and I know a lot of you do, but there's always new people, stop writing me going, everybody knows the email address. Well, everybody doesn't know the email address, you bastards, and I'm giving it anyway. The email address to the show and to me is talk2santhony@gmail.com. TALKTO. My name, of course, S. Anthony @gmail.com. You bastards. And thank you very, very, very much for saying wonderful things about this podcast and the fact that you enjoy this crap. Thank you very much. For my long-time bastards, much love to you. To my current bastards who will soon be long-term bastards, much love to you. To future bastards who haven't heard this yet, if you're hearing this at some point in the future, much love to you too, bastards in the future. I also want to say thank you very, very much for the condolences regarding my Uncle Junior who passed away. We had the funeral on Thursday. So, you know, that whole segment is pretty much over with. Everything regarding the funeral and the wakes and the this and the that, all of that is over with. Life has restarted on Saturday. And it's really weird because I know it's not going to really hit me that he's gone. Obviously, it's going to hit me that he's gone because I went to the funeral and I viewed the body and all that kind of crap. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't really hit you till you go to the part of your schedule where you're supposed to go to see him, and it ain't going to happen, right? And that's what happens to everybody. Whenever something big happens and it's the end of something, whether it be a life or a job or anything like that, intellectually, you know something has changed, but until your routine is broken, nothing has changed. I'm telling you right now, that's how it feels. Now, this was an uncle I saw on a daily basis. If you listen to the last podcast, you know I saw him damn near every day when he was starting to get sick. I took him to this, that, and I saw him all the time. We talked all the time. Go listen to the last episode, the last segment of the last episode. I don't want to rehash any of that stuff because it's going to make me get bummed out again. And I've already spent a few days bummed out, so forget that. Back to what I was saying. But you don't know exactly how things change until your schedule is broken. When I was a little kid, and obviously I'm in the entertainment business, if you can call this that. Don't judge me. When I was a little kid, I used to read the little blurbs that came into the newspaper when they would talk about the new shows that were coming up and the new cartoons that were coming up. And I would read them, and I would try to figure out which shows were going to stay on. Yes, I was that much of a nerd back then. I would try to see which shows were going to stay on and try to guess. And it was really weird because I started to really pay attention to show business. I used to write my little scripts as a kid, and I used to have the recorders, and I used to do all the voices and all of that kind of crap. And I'd watch Entertainment Tonight, and I would see things like, if there was a series that was on for a long period of time, I would see the entire cast and crew, who are now all multimillionaires, hugging and crying and carrying on. You know, people that you would never think even cry, like the rough or tough guy on the show who's like, I tell you, the show's over. And you're going, dude, what are you crying for? You made a lot of money. You had a great time. Stop being a punk. Even back then when I was a kid, I thought, stop being a punk. I would see baseball players or football players who were great, and they had a press conference to say that they were going to be retiring, and they were like, "I'm in the baseball, football, and once again, young me, what are you, a punk? You made all this money, shut up, punk." I didn't understand them because when you're 7, 8, 9 years old, you haven't been on the planet long enough to really gain an attachment to someone outside of your family where you'd be broken up if they disappeared. When you're that age, if you don't see your friend for, Bobby's moving across town. Oh man, that's too bad. Okay, Bobby, bye. I've seen that before. The kid's friend that they had friends for 2 years, then the kid goes someplace. The kid has no concept of the fact that the kid's never going to see him again. They don't know. So they don't cry that much. Let's keep it real. I mean, when you're a kid, you know what you cry about? When your parent takes your ice cream cone out of your hand. That's what you cry for. Let's keep it real. I mean, let's be honest. Why you take my ice cream cone? You're going, remember you just said you wanted sprinkles on. I'm trying to put sprinkles on. But you took it from me. You won't. I mean, I have to take it from you to put the sprinkles on it. Give me back my ice cream cone, you bastard! You're 5. What? You just called me a bastard? Don't use that kind of language, young man. Well, 42 years from now, I'm going to make a living saying that word. How about that? Yeah, well, that's 42 years from now, punk. Now here's your ice cream. And turn around and look that way. What for? So I can swat you on the buttocks for cursing. Swack up. That's disgusting, you bastard. I'm going to talk about you in 42 years on my podcast. I don't even know what a podcast is. You will soon. Well, not actually soon. Probably 40 some odd years from now. I'll make you aware of it. But that's not the point. You old bastard. Okay, you going to take my ice cream cone again? Yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna take your ice cream cone and you're going to have to sit on the couch for cursing. I probably should not have used that language. You really shouldn't have. Oh. I now know that I need to keep my mouth shut and curse at you after you leave. And then I can have my ice cream and still have the joy and satisfaction of saying horrible things about you. You probably shouldn't have said that out loud because now you're not going to get the ice cream cone at all. Wow, I probably should learn now. This is a good time, even though I'm very young. This is a good time to learn that my internal dialogue should probably be maintained internally. Very good. Okay. Hope you die. Sorry, that was the last one. Yeah, I'm going to have to take that TV from you, too. Yeah. Hold on, Dad. Watch this. Yeah, I know that you're saying really, really horrible things in your mind, and you're really bad at hiding it, so I'm going to take these video games, too. I know you just wish that I fall down the steps. I'm taking everything out of your room. How about that? I got nothing left to take from you. What am I going to do to punish the kid? He took all the television sets out. No video games. Oh, my God, this is going to be great. Watch your sister for a little while. No! None of that happened. But what I'm saying is you don't really understand the concept of losing things. And I understand now as an older person. I understand why those people were crying. Because they know they built up a relationship with all of these people and they're going to disappear. You're going to know who they are, but the closeness that you had, come on, they're going to go their separate ways the same way if you're brothers and one goes to college in this town and one goes to college in another town. You're going to build your life most likely somewhere near the college or go someplace else. You're never going to see your brother the same way again. You may make phone calls and all of that crap, but you're not going to see each other all the time, and that's sad. Right? And the people that are in those TV programs aren't even going to really realize and feel that they are no longer doing the television program until the next year starts, and there's a time period where normally they would start getting scripts in the mail, and there'd be time to start memorizing the first script, and there'd be time to start thinking about character development for the season and all of that crap, and now they don't have to do that. They go to the mailbox, there's no script in there. Why? Because there's no show, you bastard. The athlete doesn't realize he's not an athlete anymore, a professional athlete anymore, until the time of year comes when it's time to go to the gym and get your training programs and get your playbooks and all of that crap. And there's no playbooks and there's no training program. Oh, no. You don't realize that something big happened until your routine is broken, right? Part of my routine when visiting my uncle was I would go into Philadelphia, pick up some relatives, and head on towards him and stop off at the Wawa. And for those of you that don't know what a Wawa is, it's a great store in the Northeast Corridor and expanding. Great store. Coffee, food, and snacks and all of that crap, the best crap. And that was really the only time I really went to Wawa when I was going to see my uncle. When there was a Burger King on the way, and sometimes when I was hungry and I wanted to get something to eat for lunch, and I wanted to get a Whopper with cheese like I used to do when I lived in California for old time's sake. And guess what would happen? I'd get a Whopper once a month or somewhere around there, but I'm not going to be going there anymore. I'm not going to make that trip, which I hated in the beginning, which I started to like after a while. Nice scenery, right? And it's not going to hit me till Monday. Monday, when I get up and I realize, not going there. Oh. It's amazing when your routine is broken up, right? You break up with somebody in a relationship, right? I never want to see you again. Oh, yeah. Or even if it's a friendly breakup, it's just not working. I mean, let's just, and she goes her way or you go your way. Maybe you lived together, maybe you didn't, right? You see something funny on TV, you're watching it on the couch, and you just want to lean over and say, you saw that, right? But she's not there to hear that crap. Right? Something comes on TV that's romantic, and you want to put your head on his shoulder and hug him and give him a kiss on the cheek, but his cheek's not there anymore. Oh, no. Right? You get in that mood where you want to boom, boom, jigga, boom, boom, jigga, jigga, but they're not there to go, wow. You can't do that anymore because they're not there. Oh, no. The only good part about it is when something positive comes after that, something that breaks up your routine in a good way, then all of a sudden, yay, right? You break up with them, you're getting used to being in the bed by yourself. And then the next you know, you meet someone else and they're wonderful too, and then you ain't in the bed by yourself. Oh, yeah. Right? You get used to going to that sporting event and playing the game and camaraderie of the fans and the team and all of that crap, but you can't do that anymore. But you get offered a job on ESPN. Oh, yeah. That way you can make several million dollars a year without a 300-pound guy trying to hit you in the throat. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I really wish I could go back and do that show. That show made my career. It was great, man. But what? Steven Spielberg wants me to be in a trilogy of movies called Big Hits. Forget that show because now you're making even more money? Well, I'll be happy to do that. But now, with my uncle being gone, you miss that relative that's not there anymore. But guess who has a brand new grandnephew? This guy. And, hopefully I'll be have the opportunity to go and visit him and check him out, because that will be a break in the routine too. Another little baby, another new human being to love. I'm looking forward to that. That's a good break in the routine, right? Real good. Segment over. Folks, let me ask you a question. How many of you actually watch reality television? What was that? You don't? You're lying. I know some of you do. You ain't fooling me, you bastards. But there's a bit of a conceit with that question. I should have said, how many people of you watch reality television on television? Because I know you watch it in real life, because all life is reality television. Oh, yes, it is. And it's actually better than the crap you see on television in the first place. It really is. Because the stuff you see on television, reality television has been around long enough. Just like those singing programs, like when American Idol was on. American Idol was cool when it came on, right? It wasn't self-aware yet. So when someone came on American Idol and acted crazy, they were literally a person acting crazy. It was fun to watch. Right? It was fun to watch She Bangs, and all of that kind of crap. She bang. The guy couldn't sing. William Hung. It was fun. He was just a nice guy who couldn't sing, and it was fun. People that came in there and they flip out on Simon, fun. They were really people who were really, really upset. But then a few seasons later, people started noticing that the people who acted zany on American Idol in the beginning, or acted zany on these reality shows, genuinely started to get jobs, started to become getting commercials, started to get parts in movies, and all of a sudden it wasn't just a genuinely interesting person with a quirky attitude and a quirky voice and a quirky way of behaving. It became jackasses who were quirky on purpose, and all of a sudden it wasn't fun anymore. Very similar to when your kid is very young and they do something and it's like, oh, that's cute. But as soon as they become 10, they do something very similar to what they did 2 years ago. And you're like, hey, punk, get upstairs before I kick you in the ass. It ain't cute anymore, punk. Your age has 2 digits in it. Nothing you do will ever be cute again until your age has 3 digits in it. It was cute when you were 7. It ain't cute at 17, but it'll be really, really cute when you're 107. So you got a long wait, punk, before you're cute again. Now get out and watch the car, punk. It's all reality television. Everything is. Why? Because we know too much crap about each other. Way too much crap. There's no secrets anymore. Nothing even. They should take the word secret out of the dictionary or put it in a dictionary of words that exist but don't really have a real meaning anymore. Right? Like public service when it comes to politicians. You know, they ain't serving nobody in the public, the bastards. But what I'm saying is reality TV is your life, man. Right? I mean, what's more fascinating to you? Keeping up with the Kardashians or some housewives of something, people you don't know, people you're not invested in, people wearing makeup, people in front of camera crews, people who you know damn well have a producer stopping and going, could you be a little more vicious when you hit her over the head with the bottle? Okay, and make sure you use the C word and stuff like that. And in fact, before you use the C word, I want you to walk over to her and use the N word, and then you use the C word. It'll be a big controversy, and then, all of that, but it'll bring in big ratings, and we need you to do it. Okay, don't say the N word. Just say something similar to it, but not bad enough to be the act, because if you say the N word, your life's over. But call her something that's very insulting. Be demeaning towards her, and make it a little bit racial, not too racial. Give yourself enough plausible deniability so not to destroy your career and wreck the show, but definitely dog whistle it up so she'll have a reason to crack you over the head with the bottle. All right, and action. This is happening spontaneously. Really? Well, maybe you should shine my shoes. What did you say? Smash. You know that crap's contrived. But what's more interesting, watching these semi-famous people beat each other's asses on a low-rated cable station channel crap, or seeing what happens in your real life with your neighbors, your family and friends, people you actually know, people you know aren't being followed around with professional camera crews, people you know where there's no producer or director telling them to ham it up a little bit because ratings are dropping. This is stuff that's happening for real. People that you know doing dumb crap, and it's more interesting. Oh yeah. I don't care about what the Kardashians are doing, or the fact that Kanye West and Kim Kardashian are arguing over who gets to put the last piece of, who gets the last cupcake in the diamond-crusted and refrigerator. I don't care about that crap. But if I find out that my next-door neighbor, wait a second, how come every time the husband leaves, the mailman comes over and he delivers twice a day? Why does he deliver 17 minutes after the husband leaves? Why does he come back at 4 o'clock and delivers more mail? How come he's delivering mail in his personal car? How come when he comes out of the house, he's always buckling his pants and looking back and saying, hey, thanks for access to your vagina? And her going, hey, thanks for banging me because I'm mad at my husband, that bastard. Okay, they did not say that part. Okay, maybe they did. Isn't that more fun to watch, my friend? Isn't your window in your house kind of like a television camera when you see some of your neighbors whooping each other's ass outside? Of course it is. Oh, yeah. I've had those neighbors before. I had neighbors behind my house who not where I am now, but back in the day, every single weekend. Did I mention every single weekend? I've seen people pull up in front of their houses, jump out of their cars with baseball bats and hockey sticks. And this ought to tell you how unique it is. A hockey stick. These were black people. Black people that there's no hockey playing black people that I knew of back then, but his has had a hockey stick, and then people coming out of the house with baseball bats. One guy had a highlight stick. Another person took some skates and was swinging them around like Bruce Lee nunchucks, and they were in the back of that house having the sporting good fist fight free for all. The funny thing about it was almost exactly the same time every week. I'm sitting there going, do you guys schedule the vicious ass whippings? Is that what's going on? I was upset by that. So upset that I made it a point to have my popcorn and pizza and soda ready to watch the fights. Reality television. I guarantee you, if you saw those fights that was happening back and behind my house back in the day, I guarantee you if somebody was to film that crap, it would blow the doors off of any reality program that you have on TV right now. Right? In fact, it would be hashtagging the crap out of the fight. Black dude with a hockey stick, ? Would be the number one trending topic if Twitter existed back then. Yeah, I said it. But it's all reality programming, man. Think about it. You got your cameras on your phone, right? You can text everybody, right? I remember a group of friends on Facebook creating secret groups. And that was back when I think still Facebook. I think you can still just add people to the group whether you wanted to be in the group or not. And I got added to about 5 groups of people that I knew, and they all hated each other. And I'm literally watching these groups trash the crap out of each other, tell each other's dirty, disgusting little secrets, and all sorts of crap. I'm going to kick her ass next time I see her. Oh, yeah, I'm going to kick his ass. And I'm watching all of this stuff unfold. And I didn't want to let everybody know that I was part of these groups. But then again, they added me without my permission. So a lot of the times what I was doing was when I knew fights were going to start, I would manipulate the people, not in a bad way, but I would do things to make sure that they resolved their issues, that they didn't kick each other's asses and all of that kind of crap. And I realized I was basically the director of an anti-reality show. I was stopping all the stuff that would be a big hit if it was on a reality show. I was stopping ass whoopings. I was stopping all of this kind of crap. And then I realized, wait a second. Why don't I just sit back and let these jackasses destroy each other and just eat popcorn and dig it? That would have been a good thing to do, but I'm not that kind of guy. But I've seen people also manipulate people for the bad. I was manipulating people for good reasons, and I saw people manipulate people for bad reasons. And I was one of the people that they were trying to manipulate. There was a person that was going around texting other people and relatives and saying bad stuff about me and people that I knew that was unbelievably untrue and 100% untrue. But what the dumbass didn't realize was he had actually added us to this massive list of people that he was trashing us to. And we're looking at this guy going, is this guy kidding us? Is this guy kidding me? This bastard is saying all these lies about us to try to get those people to not like us so they'll like him more. And we're watching him do it. But the funny thing was, and what people don't realize is, you talk to somebody directly. I can text 55 billion people immediately. So now we're all sitting around watching this person attempt to manipulate all of us while we all know this bastard is actually trying to manipulate us. And what happens? It's funny. We're actually enjoying watching this jackass, and we're all kind of playing along. He doesn't realize he's trying to destroy these relationships, and the joke's on his dumb ass. He doesn't realize it. And as Anthony doesn't really like you in the first place. Oh, he doesn't, right? Oh, really? Oh, boy, I'm really going to, you know what? I'm going to give S. Anthony a piece of my mind. Yeah. I'll see you later. Boop, beep, beep, boop, beep, beep. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, he was just here talking some shit. Yeah. Did you give him the, I'm going to give him my piece of my mind thing? Yeah, good. April 1st is coming up, and we're going to have fun on April 1st. So this piece of crap spends months and months and months and months and months trying to manipulate everybody, not realizing we're all watching him. It'll be the equivalent of all the people on the reality shows right now watching us instead of us watching them. Them watching us and us not watching them. April 1st comes around, and the jackass is going to show up at somebody's house to try to start more crap. He walks in the house, surprise! It's a birthday party. We're all there, and we have a cake. And what's on the cake? Fuck you, Jim. Why does the cake say fuck you, Jim? Because, Jim, you were trying to fuck us all over and make us fight each other, and the whole time, jackass, we knew about you. Would you like some cake, Jim? Why don't you slice into the part where it says fuck? Where you going, Jim? That's partially true. We did have a friend that was trying to start fights with a bunch of everybody, and it was only 5 of us, and he was trying to break into the group of 5. We were going to let him hang out with us, but he was one of those guys that can't stand happiness. He can't stand a calm situation. He was not a big fan of that. He loved to have the waters be murky. That way he can control people. But we're all really, really smart guys. So he's doing this kind of stuff. And he doesn't realize that we're really close. We talk to each other all the time. And he's doing this. And he says, he doesn't really like you, yes, Anthony. I'm like, oh, really? I didn't know that. And then he leaves. I'm going, what is this bullshit? And the other guys call me, yeah, Jim just said that you don't like me. What kind of bullshit is that? I mean, I know better than that. Yeah, I know. I mean, what's he talking about? So jackass Jim shows up, and we were like, we got to shut this down. Let's wait till he shows up at the bar. He shows up at the bar. Lady comes up with a cake. We understand it's your birthday. I don't understand why they had us write this on the cake, but I mean, normally we don't write stuff like this on the cake. And the cake comes to the table. It's got one candle in the top, and it says, "Fuck you, Jim." What's with the cake? Dude, you've been sitting there trashing each one of us to the other ones. What's up with that? Get the fuck out of here. You don't even get any cake, punk ass. And then we enjoyed the fuck you, Jim cake. And we also enjoyed the fact that we would never see Jim again because we viciously murdered and dismembered him. I mean, Jim moved to another part of town, I guess. That's what happened to Jim, right, guys? No, we dismembered him, remember? I'm recording the podcast. Oh, I didn't know you were recording. Yeah, what did you say? Because I'm going to corroborate the bullshit since how we murdered and chopped up. I'm still recording, dude. We definitely did not murder and dismember Jim. So whatever you do, please do not go to this location to look for the body. Shh. Fucking wrong with you. Jim moved to... I told him that Jim moved to another part of town. Yeah, whatever he just said, that's what happened. I should leave now. I'm now going to leave the house and wipe off all prints inside of this house just in case something gets tied back to you. Dude. Hi, guys. The guy that I was talking about, Jim, he was just kidding about I was kidding about the dismemberment part. Obviously, this is a podcast where I tell stories about what happens in life, and hopefully you can relate to it too. And occasionally, I mix a little humor into the podcast, and and that guy that really tried to destroy a lifelong friendship just for the amusement of himself, and then we got him a cake that said "fuck you, Jim" on him. I mean, that actually happened, but everything about us, viciously beating him in the alley behind the bar and dismembering him and laying his that of course that part was the joke. Because I throw jokes in it like that sometimes. So obviously that part, if there's anybody from law enforcement listening, I just want to let you know that part right there was all humor. On whatever. Anyway, reality television is an interesting thing, and I personally am amused by reality television. I'm sure you guys are amused by it too. But like I said, man, we're all living in a reality television program, and I think what we need to do now is we need to pull back a little bit, right? We need to not tell so much about ourselves. It's okay to live stream. It's okay to Periscope and all of that crap. That's great and everything. It's okay to tell people things, but the whole idea behind this is you can't tell everybody everything. You should keep some things to yourself. It's great to share. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you have to keep things to yourself. You can't just give everybody everything. You know what I mean? Like say for the sake of argument, you have a bunch of friends at a bar, and a guy doesn't know when to leave you alone, and you viciously beat him up and dismember him and move him to. Hypothetically, yeah, hypothetically, if you and your friends viciously beat a dude up and chopped him in little pieces, and moved him to. I might have to edit this segment. No, I'm gonna leave it in because if I edit it out, just in case. Yeah, but if I leave it in, people will. Yeah, you should probably leave it in, man, because you never know what happens, man. You might make a mistake while you're uploading it and then upload the wrong part. And then maybe people think things will get erased, but things kind of last forever digitally. You might make a mistake or leave the flash drive with this segment on around, and then someone will hear it and they'll wonder why you cut that part out. So it'd be better if you just put that part right into the show. Because it fits right into your thing about real life being a reality television program. You know what I mean? Because then, if you leave it in the show, then people will think it's joke and they won't realize that we actually did murder this guy and viciously. Oh yeah, right. That we definitely did not do that to that dude, and he's alive and well somewhere. Do you think laughing is helping this? Oh yeah, I'm laughing because of the ridiculousness of what we did to that guy. What we did not do. We definitely. I gotta go, man. God, that guy's an idiot. So anyway, folks, like I said, obviously, we did not do nothing to that dude. I'm sure he's probably listening right now from the great beyond. No, great beyond. Great beyond is a city in Idaho, because I'm sure that's where he is. Great beyond is not what you think. It's not. I'm not saying that he's dead and that he would only hear this in the great beyond being a dead person, having been beaten and dismembered by. The great beyond is a city in Idaho or something, and that's from what I understand. People that have actually seen him still be alive, still that have seen him alive. That I can't tell you the people that have seen him, that have actually seen him alive and well and not viciously beaten and dismembered. I don't remember any of their names or what they look like, so don't ask me to point. To like if you wanted me to prove that he was alive, you would say, well, tell me the person that saw him alive. I don't remember their names or any of their physical characteristics, but or anything about them. So so you're just gonna have to take my word for it. Anyway, folks, like I said, you should not expose all information about yourself, because sometimes people will find out things about you that you don't want them to know, and it's always better to keep that stuff to yourself. Segment over. Well, folks, as we know. As I've stated and as I've tweeted, this is episode number 238, and this is the 3rd anniversary episode. And I was thinking about, what I was really thinking about was putting on some clips, and and here's a clip that was very popular in 2014. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called blah blah blah. Here's the story behind that clip. Blah 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 blah. And here's a little bit of that clip. And then playing the clip. And I may still do something like that in the future. But I'll be honest with you, even though it's 30 years, it's kind of a big deal, because as they said, when I started doing this, I was reading about podcasting and trying to figure out what it was. I knew generally what it was and how to do it and what the podcast universe was like and what people who podcasted were like and what the podcast audience was like and all of that stuff. And they always talk about, if you do more than 7 episodes, you're a real podcaster, because a lot of people pod fade before 7 episodes, which is true. There's a lot of people that'll do a few of these or do this for a little while and realize it's a lot more difficult than they think to stick with the schedule, to put the stuff together, the chopping, the editing, and all of that crap, and they don't want to do it. It's a job all of a sudden, right? They're going, what the hell? I just wanted to get on there with a bunch of friends, talk about random crap and then put the stop and then that's it. And you can do that, and you might go and listen to it, but you can do that if you want to. And this is episode number 238, and this is the 3rd anniversary, and it's really an interesting thing. it's really weird how this parallels stand-up comedy in many, many ways. Obviously, the injection of humor into the stories and things of that nature. Obviously, if you're doing stand-up, it would actually be more punchline dense instead of just telling a story and then adding humor to it. It would be more punchline dense because that would be more of the goal instead of just to entertain and have fun like that. But the funny thing about it is now that I'm at year 3, it reminds me, and it's very, very similar to year 3 of stand-up comedy, which obviously for me was several decades ago. All right. Because by year 3, I was 19 going on 20. Okay. Maybe 20, you know what I'm saying? 20 years old. And that's really around the time when I really started to think, yeah, I'm actually good at this now. I'm getting good at this. I kind of can have some kind of control of the machine. I know what I'm doing. I know how to write jokes. I know how to structure an hour and something show. I know how to make the audience feel one way and then feel another way, or do this and do that. I know how to get them to applaud. I know how to get them to, I knew how to do these things. And it wasn't like I had completely mastered the craft or anything, but I had control over it. Like you're a good driver after 3 years of driving. You're not even really thinking about it anymore. But you're not as good a driver as you are 27 years later. You're a much better driver 30 years after 30 years of driving. But after 3 years of driving, you know what you're doing. And I'm starting to get that feeling about this on my 3rd anniversary. I'm starting to feel like I'm starting to get good at this crap, because before I was just kind of trying to figure everything out. What do I want to sound like? What does this need to sound like? Hey, what is my audience like? Hey, I have audience in different countries now. What is that country like? And what about these people? And I'm starting to get the handle on, and I'm starting to feel like I'm getting good at this. It's really weird. Because when you do stand-up comedy, when you do this kind of thing, to me, the best way to do it is to just do things that you think are funny and try to bring other people, bring your audience into the world that you live into. It's like your humor is an amusement park, or your humor is a restaurant where you have a meals made with your style, and hopefully the goal is to find people that like what you do, not to try to do what you think they'll want you to do, because, if you're doing that, you're in a state of chasing. I'd rather invite than to chase. It's the same thing with dating. I'm not going to chase anybody. I'm going to show you who I am and invite you to become a part of this. And that's what I want to do with this podcast. And that's what I've been trying to do with this podcast. I'm not going to look at the trends and try to be what other people are doing. Not interested. Didn't do it with stand-up. Never going to do it with stand-up. And I'm damn sure not going to do it with this. But the thing about it, and sometimes people will write me and ask me, or if I run into somebody, they'll ask me about something that I said 194 episodes ago, or 200 episodes ago, or at episode 16. And I don't, just to let you know, I remember what I did, meaning in my life, but I don't necessarily remember exactly what episode it was on. Okay. And sometimes, as I've already told people, I have to change. Well, I don't have to change things, but sometimes I'll change things to, hide the identity of the person that I'm talking about, even though I have carte blanche when it comes to talking about people. Sometimes I will change the sex, change the location, change things about the story, so I'll give you an idea of what I'm talking about, but won't identify the people. And it's really weird that as I've been doing this for the length of time that I've been doing it, the best way to put it is your cell phone. If you have a cloud service attached to your cell phone, what happens is you start to stockpile a whole bunch of pictures and videos in your phone, and you're just in the constant state of collecting pictures and videos and this and that. And after a while, it's like, I got to start putting these somewhere, because they're sitting here and they're cool, but I got to do something with them. Now, with your cell phone, what you do usually is you have, like I said, some kind of cloud service attached to your phone. And what you do is you'll go into the cloud service and you want to upload that crap, and it'll go, do you want to upload these photos? And you go, yes. And you hit the button and you upload some of the photos. And then there's another thing that says, free up device free up device or free up device storage, and you hit that and it'll ask you, do you want me to take the photos that have not been uploaded to the cloud? And if they're uploaded to the cloud, can I then erase them from your device to free up space? And you go, click yes. And I'm starting to get the feeling that my podcast and my stand-up, more so right now, the podcast is kind of like my life storage device. You know, it's like the life cloud device. There's a whole bunch of things that happen to you that are kind of funny and kind of interesting, and maybe some interesting things that have happened to you, S. Anthony, that, you know, other people might find interesting. And maybe if you've resolved your problem and they have a very similar problem, maybe they can look at the way you resolved your problem and maybe resolve their problem, or at the very minimum, realize that they're not alone in having that problem. But it's in your head right now. Would you like to upload them to the cloud, aka your podcast, so people can actually hear it and use it and enjoy it maybe? Why, yes, I'll do that. Click. You would like to free up that memory space in your beautiful head? Yes, I would. Would you like us to erase the stories you just told? Sure. But that's kind of what happened. The second I take something that happened to me in my life, it's in the back of my brain, and I tell the story, and maybe I put a little humor in it if there wasn't humor already in it. And thank goodness you guys like this stuff. It's like I said, it's kind of like the pod services that I use are kind of like my cloud service for life stories. And once they're out there for you to listen to, I kind of forget about them, you know, because I know that sometimes people will write me and they'll be slightly disappointed if I can't remember the episode that is specific. Remember that time you talked about Beautiful Women and Crazy Cats? And I'm going, yes. What episode was that? You're probably going to have to Google Crazy Cats and Beautiful Women, because I don't remember which one it is. I know it's like 130 something. I don't remember which one it is though. You know, and they're like, oh, you don't remember? And I'm going, no. I'm going, you know, I was like, I've done like 200 something episodes of this show. I mean, I don't remember. I remember living the life and the things that happened, but I don't remember what number. I don't remember when I was putting the podcast together, you know, what episode it is. But 3 years, man. 3 years, man. And this has been a really, really a fun 3 years doing this. I'm glad this podcasting was invented. I'm glad that I discovered it as something that I wanted to do. I'm glad that when I did decide to do this, I found people that actually like listening to my dopey ass talk about this crap, aka you bastards. And I'm really happy about the fact that not only is obviously the most popular places that listen to this podcast are places where I actually lived. You know, places where I actually lived for a long period of time are the places where people listen to it the most. You know, there's obviously New Jersey, obviously Philadelphia, the state of Pennsylvania, the state of New Jersey, the state of New York, the state of California, places where I spend the most time. Obviously, you know, there's more people listening there because, you know, I used to live there and perform there a lot. But what's really, really cool over the course of 3 years is I started to notice that all of a sudden, I started getting people listening in the United Kingdom. And I've never been to the United Kingdom. All right. There are people listening in Australia. Never been to Australia. There are people listening in Canada. Never been to Canada. Never been to France. You know, so, or India or any of these other places that people are listening to this. By the way, shout out to all of you guys. All of my overseas bastards. And my other North American bastards. And I didn't forget you, Canada. That's why I said what I just said. And it's really cool, man, because now, after this time, when I've decided I'm just going to do my thing, man, and if nobody listens to it, that's okay too. I just like doing it. I'm telling you, because in the beginning, the first few episodes, not a damn person listened to this crap. Nobody. And then all of a sudden, it started to trickle and trickle and trickle. And people started listening. I didn't have to compromise anything. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys for listening, especially, you know, the people that have been listening. Because there's some people that have been listening for 3 years almost, you know. And shout out to you guys for being there first. And I appreciate you. I really do. my original bastards. So I just want to say, once again, to everybody, thank you very much for the kind words for the, when you found out this was the 3rd anniversary of this podcast. It means a lot to me when people that I've never met, say, oh, this is the greatest, the funniest, great stories, smooth voice, whatever cool things that people have said, and some that are even more complimentary than that I'm not going to read. I'm just, of course, going to have them tattooed across my forehead so I can impress women. But it means a lot, when you're doing your own thing and you're doing anything the way you want to do it, and you're not trying to be like anybody else. You're not trying to copy anybody else. You just want to do your thing. And you find people that like what you do, and really a lot of people love what you do, and they mean that sincerely. And you can tell by the way they write long letters and stuff like that. And, it means a lot. And, I figured on this 3rd anniversary, I just wanted to again, just to say thank you for that. It really does mean a lot, When you have people that listen to you, and you look at the people that listen to you or follow you, and you realize that they are cool as hell, and they're smart, awesome people, it says a lot about, maybe it says a lot about you, meaning me. It means that I am also very, very cool and very, very awesome. Yeah, because it's enough of me talking about how great you guys are. Let's talk about how incredible I am for a change. God damn it, you guys are awesome and everything, but let's be honest, I'm a triple genius. So what I need you to do, instead of just listening to me and recommending me to your friends, I want you to continue to do that. I'm going to need you as a collective group to begin a cult of personality around me. Yeah. I've already named you Sass Bastards, and I'm going to need a whole bunch of you to tattoo that on very, very sensitive parts of your body. Hashtag SAS in capital letters, then capital B, then the rest of the word bastard. I'm going to need a bunch of y'all to tattoo that on probably your cheek, the cheek of your face. Okay, that might be a little weird. I don't want you to lose your jobs just because you think I'm the best thing in the world. Okay, I changed my mind. I really need that devotion. But just use henna. But just keep reapplying a henna tattoo to the side of your face with a hashtag bastard. And then because I know you may lose your job and maybe your families and stuff will think you're crazy. But what's more important? Pleasing a guy you've never met whose voice you like, or pleasing people you actually know or are invested in. That's the kind of thing you're going to have to ask yourself. Okay? Who's more important? Your loved ones or a guy whose show you like? Okay? I think it's pretty easy. You tell your wife or your husband to shut their freaking mouth and to help you apply the tattoo to your face. If your daughter, your son goes, Dad, you're scaring me. Why do you have a picture of that dude with sunglasses tattooed on your chest? You just say, hey, when you're old enough to understand the humor and the genius of this dude, you'll do it too. In fact, tattoo it on your kids also. I want them, I'm not going to stop doing this anytime soon, which means eventually I'm going to have new, fresh, young fans show up for the show. So begin indoctrinating your children so they could also become sass bastards, and that's what I'm going to need, because this is just the 3rd anniversary of the show. I'm already a quadruple genius. See, I just became a quadruple genius in the middle of that sentence. And by the time your kids are old enough to understand what I'm talking about and get the humor, it'll be, what are your kids, 5, 6, say 20 years from now when I'm still doing this crap, I'm on episode 16 gazillion. I want them already indoctrinated. And in fact, if you have a baby right now, if any of you are having children, okay, male or female, doesn't matter. I don't discriminate, you bastards. What I'm going to need you to do, and this is very, very important, and I'm not kidding, and damn it, you bastards better do it. And I'm talking to all of the countries. You do what I say, damn it, I'm more important than anything. What I'm going to need you to do is rename your children. And I want you to name your children Sass Bastards, okay? Now, don't just use the SAS Bastards. I want you to actually add this the hashtag and then to the front of the name. And then when people go, that's kind of a crazy name. Why do you have hashtag Sass Bastards as the name of your children? I want, when the person asks you that, I want you to slap the crap out of them, because if they don't know why, that means they're not listening to me. And if they're not listening to me, they should be slapped in the mouth. And then when they go, what the hell did you slap me in the mouth for? And then you look at them and go, you're not a sass bastard. You don't listen to the S. Anthony Says podcast starring the S. Anthony Thompson. They're going to go, no, not really. Then slap them in the mouth again. And then while they're going, oh my God, I can't believe you hit me. Damn it. Then I want you to get into a running position, running them at a high rate of speed, jump into the air until you're horizontal and hit them in the chest with your feet, AKA drop kick the bastard. So I'm going to need you to name your kids Sass Bastards. I know it's going to be weird with a bunch of kids running around with the same name. So what? What's more important, your kid having a future and a name that they can use as the beginning of their life, a strong family name, a strong name that will help them in business, a unique name like that, or naming them after a random hashtag of a dude whose show you like. I think we know what's more important. So if I don't see a whole bunch of kids named hashtag Sass Bastards, I'm going to be highly upset. Oh, I said it. And what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to use an entire segment of the show, and I'm just going to sit there and do this. Tisk, 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 tisk. And you know the segments of my show can range anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. Do you want to hear me do this for 15 minutes? Tisk, 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 tisk. No, you don't. So get it done, you bastards. But anyway, folks, I want to say thank you very much for being loyal listeners for this length of time, and for bringing friends and family back to listen. Much love to all of you. And I'm going to end this segment by saying I truly, truly appreciate you and have much love for you. Ha ha, you bastards. Segment over. All right, everybody, let me ask you a question. Now, I'm a Seinfeld fan, not just of the stand-up, but also of the classic television program, 90s television program, Seinfeld. And one of the most remembered episodes of Seinfeld was this episode called the, quote, Soup Nazi, unquote. And for those of you that have not ever seen the episode or are not familiar with the program, it was an episode based around a soup restaurant, more of a kitchen type restaurant. And the soup was so good and exclusive that everyone really needed the soup and was hooked on the soup and had to have the soup. And the person who was the proprietor was very, very mean to the customers, had browbeat them down. But they really needed his soup, and they wanted his soup, and they loved his soup. And he would literally punish them for the smallest infractions by making them not be able to get his soup for a certain length of time based on how angry he was about whatever the infraction they committed. No soup for you. Come back 1 week. No soup for you for 6 months. That kind of thing. And it was a classic episode of Seinfeld, and it was very, very funny. And I know that this was a real thing, but I'd never experienced anything like that until recently. The last time it snowed on the East Coast, which I think it was last year sometime. And it's a seafood place, as it turns out. Now, I'm driving home from someplace. I stayed longer than I expected to. I was going to try to get back to my home area before it snowed, but I got involved in some stuff, and it started snowing, and I go, oh, crap. So I'm going back, and people are crashing around me, cars are slipping, and I'm going, damn, I wanted some seafood because I was going to go to a seafood place that was literally close to my home, but it was like 10, 12 minutes on the other side of my house. I would have to go past my home, go to that place, get the grub, and then go back to my home, and I wanted to get the hell out of there. I wanted to get the seafood. I just wanted some crab cakes, and I wanted to get them and eat them, and that's what I wanted, okay? I'm driving home, and I see a seafood place, and I walk in, and there's a bunch of people in there. And I remember seeing it before, and I'm going, this place must be popular if people are out in the middle of this crap getting crab cakes and crabs and crap. So let me slide in there and get some crab cakes. Cupcakes. Get the crab cakes that I wanted, and then, maybe get something else. I don't know, but whatever it is, let me get it and then get home. I pull there, I park, I walk out, I walk into the seafood place, And it's a lot of people in there, but they're very quiet. And I don't know why. And quite frankly, I don't care. I just want to get my crab cakes and get the hell out of there. I walk up to the counter. Hey, what's going on? Hi. Yes, I'd like to order real quick. Wait. Okay. And the guy's really not doing anything. He just kind of, it's almost like he wants you to wait just because he can make you wait. Well, maybe he's doing something. I don't know. Maybe he's thinking about something. I don't know. Whatever. He waits about 2.5 minutes. Comes back to the counter. Keep in mind, he didn't really do anything. He just stood there. Now, go. Okay, I would like to get a couple of crab cakes and some onion rings, and whatever else I ordered. I don't remember what it was. Now, while I'm ordering here, somebody else has ordered, and they order and sit down. But he tells me how much it is, and he slaps the counter and goes, I forgot let's just say $10. I don't remember what the hell it was. I don't think it was that much, but $10. And I'm looking and I'm noticing that the people next to me are ordering, but they're not paying. And I'm going, why are they ordering over there and not paying, but you're slapping the counter and I got to pay up front before they get, because I don't know you. Okay, you know everyone over there. This is about you. Okay, I don't know you yet. And I'm going. I don't know you either. You're going to be touching my food. I mean, I don't mind paying. I mean, obviously, I came in here to pay. I didn't come in and expect you to hand me, free food or anything. I was just wondering. So you're not going to pay? Yeah, of course. Here's the money. Here's the $10 right there. I mean, and then he says some other kind of crap, and I'm looking, and he just won't let it go. I'm just, and I'm trying to leave, and he's drawing me back in that conversation with these little snipes and digs, and I'm sitting there going, and I'm sitting there going, normally that kind of stuff didn't bother me, but it was just starting to get on my nerves. And I said, look, dude, you're talking about trust here, like I'm going to order and run out of here, and that's not going to happen. I mean, there's trust involved from my end, too, if you really think about it. Seafood is one of those foods where if you mess it up, you can make someone really sick. I'm trusting you with my gastrointestinal system. I'm not saying to you, hey, I'm not going to pay for the food that you make, this seafood, until I go home, eat it, and I know that it's passed through my body and I didn't get food poisoning. And then I'll come back and give you the money. I didn't do that. Can I just, there's no hostility here. I was just curious. I didn't know if there was some kind of system going down. I didn't know. This is my first time here. Well, I didn't need to. You should have gotten a number anyway. If you would have told me to get a number, I would have gotten a number. I don't understand. And the people are looking at me. You know how people have that look in the face like, no, shh, don't do it. Don't do it. Like stop talking to him. Just sit down and take your whipping. Right. And then as he's cooking the food, he's walking back and forth, and he's saying something, and he's still mad at me. And literally all I said was, is it customary to pay first? I'll do it. I just don't know why. I mean, they're not. It's just, and the funny thing about it was, because of what I do, every time something bad happens to me, at first I might be a little annoyed, but then I started thinking, you just handed me some stories and some money, jack off. So whatever it is, it is. So I'm sitting there and I'm just, I don't have my head bowed like everybody else. I'm looking at, newspaper. I'm chilling and everything. I'm trying to talk to people. They ain't going to say anything to me. People are going up to the thing, getting their food and looking back at me like, dude, you don't know what you just did. That's what their looks on their faces are. And I'm going, dude, it's fucking crab cakes and onion rings and macaroni salad and a soda. It's not life or death. They're looking at me like they're literally, as they're walking out, looking back at me like when they all leave, 8 dudes are going to come across the counter and kick the shit out of me because I asked a simple question. So I go up to the counter and everybody who's looking down just kind of looking at me like, oh no, will this be the end of him? Right? So he gives me my crab cakes and I go, yeah, can I get a couple of pieces of the potato bread? And they're looking, and I look back at them and they're looking at me like, oh God, he's going to keep asking for stuff. I don't know what's going on. This guy's got to calm down. I don't think he realizes what he's doing. He gives me the bread. Here's the bread. Put the bread down. You put the bread down hard. Picks the crab cakes up, puts them on top of the bread. I said, oh, don't close the lid yet. Now what? So can I get a little, can I get some ketchup on the crab cakes? Oh, no, you don't need that. I'll give you this. And he gets these little, that little red sauce you get with crab cakes, and he puts it next to it, puts a pickle in there and macaroni salad next to it, and he's about to close it. I said, no, put ketchup on it. You want ketchup on my crab cakes? And I said, no. He goes, good. I said, no, I want ketchup on my crab cakes. Remember, you made me pay for them first. Ooh. This guy's pissed off. Oh man! And the people behind me, oh God, he implied that the master's crab cakes weren't perfect. We don't ever put anything on his crab cakes. We eat them the way they are, and thank God for him. And then he puts the thing down, he puts the tape on all hard. Here's your crab cake right there. And I said, you know what? Thank you very much. I'm sure these crab cakes are fantastic. And I'm sure once I go home and taste these fantastic crab cakes, that I'm going to be a lifelong fan of your food, just like everybody else here. And he looked at me, and he was trying to figure out whether I was being sarcastic or not. Let me give you a hint. I was, because I was never going back to that shit. But I just wanted to see how good the crab cakes were. If the crab cakes were all out of this world, I still wouldn't have gone back, because the guy's a dick. But I was curious. So I take the crab cakes home. I'm walking out, and everybody's looking at me like, he survived. I swear to God, I walk out to my car, people are looking through the window at my car as if my car is going to blow up, because like the guy went, listen, blow his car up, that bastard. And I pull off. I go home. I pop the thing open. I put my movie in. I'm watching my movie. I eat the crab cakes, and they were some good ass crab cakes. But they were not as good as the ones that I got from the place that I always went. Ha. And I'm so glad. That was the first time I was actually hoping to be disappointed by something I purchased just to make a point. Now, if I'd eaten the crab cakes and the crab cakes were like the best crab cakes in the world, I still wouldn't have gone back because the guy was an ass face. But I would have been like, damn, that bastard. But I think deep down inside, Crab Cake Man knows there's a better crab cake place 27 minutes away from him. And if he doesn't know, I hope he's listening to this, and I want to let you know, you bastard, that the crab cake place on the other side of my house, 11 minutes away from me, kicks your crab cake's ass, punk. And they're nice to people. Yeah. Also, fuck you, buddy. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Crab cakes were good, but not good enough for you to be such a douche. Yeah. Segment over. Well, folks, this has been episode number 238 of the S. Anthony Says podcast, the 3rd year anniversary of the S. Anthony Says podcast. Thank you very much for everything. Thanks for listening. I look forward to talking to you next week. Please follow me on social media if you aren't doing it already. My personal Twitter is @SAnthonyThomas. The show's Twitter is @SAnthonySays. The Instagram, surprisingly enough, S. Anthony Thomas. And I'm on everything regarding listening to the podcast. The home base is santhonysays.podbean.com because it's hosted on Podbean. I'm on the Podcast Revolution Network. Support those shows, of course. Stitcher, TuneIn, iTunes, Google Play. I'm everywhere, you bastards. All you got to do is Google S. Anthony Says or Google me, S. Anthony Thomas, and you'll find me, damn it. Find me, follow me, rate me, and tell everybody you know about the show, you bastards. Much love to you all. If you want to email me, and I hope you do, it's talktosanthony@gmail.com, talktosanthony@gmail.com. Much love to every last one of you, and I look forward to the next 3 years of talking to every last one of you awesome bastards. Much love to you. And it doesn't matter to me where you listen. I don't care if you're listening to me in your car, in earbuds, while you're on the treadmill, while you're on the lawnmower, while you're walking down the street. Just know that I love you. I love being in your ears. And on the count of 3, I'm going to say goodbye the way I always say goodbye. And I want you to say it with me. Are you ready? Yes. Okay. 1, 2, 3. S. Anthony out.